I'm assuming you do, care about wildlife and the environment, and truly want to understand your dog or cat's behavior as well as they understand yours. Maybe you're confused about your dog or cat's behavior. Maybe you just want to improve their lifestyle. You know what to do. Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for The Pet Show. America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, pet lifestyle show. So hop up on my couch. Bring those furry little buddies with you, folks. It is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, love, really love, adore, and as I stress every single week, respect pets and animals as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Ever-Growing Pet Show family, you want to find out why your dog is chewing or jumping or digging or humping or doesn't get along with other dogs, or maybe your cat has some issues as well. He's not using a litter box, scratched your favorite chair, woke you up in the middle of the night, doesn't get along with the new cat that came to the house, bit your finger. You get the idea by now. Come on, guys. This is The Pet Show. This is what we do and have been doing for almost 45 years, helping people resolve issues that they may be having with their dog or cats. And as I say every week, a lot more likely helping dogs or cats resolve the issues they may be having with the people they live with. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. Some brand new stuff to give away on the show as well today. So if you have a question or a comment, great time to give me a call. I have hugs and kisses to give away for your dogs. I have herbal flea spray. I have hemp joint seed, allergy aid, tear stain, Lucy pet food, doggy lickies. Lots of great stuff to give away. So if you call in, everyone who calls in, and they get to talk to me live on the air, we'll get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. Some new stuff to give away on the show as well. I started talking with a new company. It's called Acorn Pet Products. Kind of interesting. I'll talk more about it later. But they have calming and recovery products specifically for your pets, dogs and cats. So check out acornpetproducts.com. In fact, I'll be giving some of their stuff away perhaps on the show today as well. 866, the phone number, 866-870-KRLA. That's 866-870-5752. If you have a question, if you have a comment, just want to share a great story, want to talk about how your dogs and cats are doing during the heat. There was just a horrible story here in Arizona where I am, where two dogs were tied outside in this incredible heat. Finally, the police were able to arrive. They were able to save one, and the other one passed away, and now they're going to be charging their guardian, I didn't use the word guardian with them, their owner, with a couple of felonies, as well-deserved felonies. So I want to hear how you're dealing with the hot weather and your pets as well. Plenty of time for your calls. As I said, lots of great stuff to give away. So if you have a question or a comment, great time to give me a call. Again, that number, 866-870-5752. And by the way, when I give away these gifts, I'm not giving away biscuits here. A lot of the items I'm giving away on the Pet Show are worth $30, $40, even $50. So if you have a question or a comment, want to share a great story, it's not just a matter of me resolving your issues with pets here on the Pet Show. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear about your relationship with your pets. Do you have a special dog or cat that maybe helped you get through high school? I know I did. Or maybe get through a hard time in your life, a divorce, or the loss of a significant other. I want to hear from you guys as well, because your conversation with me helps encourage other people that may be going through something similar with their pets, and it helps them out as well. So great time to give me a call. Again, that number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. So let me share what's coming up on today's show. By now, you know, is Warren going to get to all of his topics? Chances are not, because your calls, your questions are my priority. But I got some real important subjects I want to talk about today. In fact, some of them I already shared on my YouTube channel. A sound mind in a sound body. That sounds cliche to some people out there, but you do know that the majority of dogs and cats, for that matter, that wind up at shelters, wind up there for behavioral reasons, issues that could be resolved. Unbelievable. It says it all. So, I talked about this before. I wrote the book Pet Aerobics in the 1980, I don't even remember when, but a long time ago. Anyway, the reason I'm talking about this today is I'm going to be doing an entire exercise class on my YouTube channel. I already started a little bit, so you can check out youtube.com patreon.com/Warren Eckstein. But why exercise and behavior, in fact, do go hand in hand, why the majority of behavior issues stem from lack of exercise and lack of education. Those are the two most important things that you need to understand. Exercise, stimulation, goes a long way. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later on today's show. A sound mind in a sound body. So many dogs, so many cats out there are incredible, just amazing. But if they're not getting the exercise, if they're not getting the education, their behavior can be changed. Also coming up, speaking about cats, I adore cats. I love cats. I've had as many as 27 cats at one time. Why punishing your cat? So many people advocate squirting water at your cat, shaking cans at your cat, yelling. Listen, no. Why punishing your cat for bad behavior like scratching or litter box problems can actually do more harm than you might realize. So what you should do if your cat does have certain issues, give me a call. We'll talk about that. But it's so important. I'm so tired of people wanting to yell and scream and correct and throw things and squirt water at their cat when their cat's doing something wrong. It's not the cat's fault. It's you, the parents. When in doubt, blame mom and dad. Also coming up, we all love our dogs. Of course we love our dogs, but there are several mistakes that pet parents make that could actually reduce your dog's lifespan. Now, come on, you love your dog. You wouldn't want to do anything that's going to make him live less time, right? So we're going to talk about that a little bit later on this show as well. Also coming up, so many of my listeners have adopted dogs and have many questions. So today, I'm going to unlock your rescue dog's full potential. I am such a big fan of rescue dogs. I'm trying to think back if I've ever, I guess the only dog I ever purchased was after the Buster Brown, after I trained Tig for the Buster Brown commercials. He belonged to the Buster Brown company. I think that's the only dog I ever paid money for. I had to buy him after I trained him. After I trained him, I had to buy him back from the Buster Brown company because they owned Tig, and Tig lived a happy long life with me. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA. As always, plenty of time to answer all of your questions and comments. Lots of great stuff to give away. So if your pet happens to be a jumper, chewing, scratching, confused about the litter box, not housebroken, doesn't get along with other dogs and some people, or your dog believes he sees it, he's got a humping, give me a call. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. The question of the day is, does your dog or cat help you cope with stress in your life? The last few years, I've had a little stress and anxiety in my life, things going on and issues. And if it were not for Molly and Willie, I don't know if I could have coped with them. So I know it sounds like maybe a ridiculous question to people out there, but I honestly believe that dogs and cats are the best therapist couch in the world. So do you believe, like I do, that your dog and cat can help you cope with stresses in your life? Give me a call. Let me know. If you get through, a great gift will be on its way. 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through to the pet show. Lots of time for your calls. Lots of stuff to give away. Broadcasting today from my new home in beautiful Arizona. And people said, well, Warren, you're always talking about how hot it is in Arizona. Oh, do you really like it here? Let's face it, folks, okay? I live in an air-conditioned house. I have an air-conditioned car. Throw in an hour for Costco. I'm cool. I'm not worried about this heat. Everyone knocking. Oh, it's so hot there. Why did you move there? It's so hot. Listen, I can deal with the heat. Air conditioning helps me get through it. 866-870-KRLA. That's where our dogs and cats should be in air conditioning too, by the way. It drives me crazy to see people. It's interesting where I live though now. It's I get up in the morning and I walk every morning around 4:30, 5 o'clock. And that's when people are now taking their dogs for walks. I guess because it heats up fast here, they take their dogs for walks either early in the morning or in the evening when the cars go down. So what have I been doing? I've been first time in my life, I think I've stepped in every type of poop possible. If stepping in poop was as lucky as people said, I would have retired many years ago living in a palace somewhere. So, first time in my life, I've stepped in cow poop, I've stepped in horse poop, I've stepped in dog poop, I've stepped in cat poop, I've stepped in lion poop, elephant poop. But a first for Warren, I stepped in coyote poop. Now, you might be saying, Warren, how do you know it was coyote poop? When it comes to poop, I know it. Believe me. I know animal poop, and I can tell by the food in the poop what they're eating. drives me crazy. Everyone wants to get rid of the coyotes. Some guy said to me the other day, well, we got to get the Department of Animal and get rid of all these. Why get rid of them? Learn to live with them. If we all learn to live together, humans, those of us that walk upright or those of us that don't, what a difference that would make. I love coyotes, but you know what? I am so conscientious when I take Molly and Willie out. I know when to take them out. They're never in the yard unless I am within 5 feet away from them. When I take them for a walk, I always have one of those air horns. I'll be giving some of those away on the show as well. Always have those air horns with me. So there are things you can do without having to, well, we got to kill them. We got to get rid of the coyotes. They don't deserve to be here. Yeah, they deserve to be here just like you did. You built houses on their property, not vice versa. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. You know what? Let me start out with a call. We're going to go to Cammy. I think she's calling all the way from Idaho. Hey, Cammy, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren.
How are you today, Cammy? Oh, my pleasure. What's up?
Well, I have about a 3-year-old cat, female, that she's fixed, and baby kitty just recently found me about 10 days ago. So I took her in. She was about 8 weeks old, and my cat, Freckles, doesn't accept her, and I don't know what to do.
Well, how would you feel if another woman moved into your house?
Well, I wouldn't like that.
Of course, it's going to take you some time to get adjusted, okay? So it's the same thing with the cat, but what you should do is real important. Here's where first cat psychology comes into play. No one wants someone moving to their house right off the bat. So what we need to do is make the older cat, what's the older cat's name? I hate talking about cats. What's the
Freckles.
name? Freckles. I love that name. Freckles. So let's say Freckles is not thrilled about this new interloper that came into your house. What are we going to do about it? What we're going to do is make Freckles think that the greatest thing that ever happened in the world was the arrival of this new kitten. What does that mean? If you normally feed Freckles twice a day, we're going to feed Freckles 3 times a day, maybe even 4 times a day, but not more food, just more feedings. We're going to take food dishes. If you normally feed her in one location, feed her there, but take some of her dishes with a little bit of her food and put it in other areas as well. Now, the most important thing that you can do, it's not too late, you can do it now, is what we call scent swapping. Did anyone ever discuss scent swapping with you?
No.
Okay. Cats recognize each other and deal with each other based on scent more than anything else. So here's what I'd like you to do. I would love you to take a washcloth, rub it all over the kitten, and take another washcloth and rub all over Freckles. Let the kitten stay with Freckles' scent. Let Freckles stay with the kitten scent so they get used to the smell of each other. That's number 1. Number 2 is if there's someone else in the family with you, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to set up a situation where you can sit on one end of a couch holding Freckles, someone on the other end of the couch holding the new kitten. Little by little, when they ignore each other, that's enough for that day. Little by little by little, you can get closer and closer, and eventually they'll get together. But the most important thing you need to do right now is make sure there's plenty of distraction in the house for Freckles. That means cardboard boxes, paper bags, growing organic catnip, changing things every day. If we can get her mind focused on other things, not just the arrival of the new kitten, you'll probably be over and done within a week or so, I promise.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cammy, what's the weather like in Lewiston, Idaho today?
Oh, it's lovely. It's a beautiful sunny day out.
Everyone I know, so many people I know are moving to Idaho. Everyone's moved to Idaho. You never heard of Idaho. Everyone's moving to Idaho. Great state, by the way. Anyway, listen, don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold. The lovely Suzette's going to pick up, and I'm actually going to send you a copy of how to get your cat to do what you want. But I want you to go to my website, thepetshow.com. Everything's free there. Just go there. Check out the first cat psychology. I think it'll help you out a bit. Great call, by the way. Take a quick break when we come back. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. You know, you love your dogs. You love. Just thinking about Captain Kangaroo, the Advancing. What are the shows? Where are those great shows? I learned my love for animals by watching Captain Kangaroo, who, by the way, was a neighbor of mine, lived in Rockville Center on Long Island. Bob Keeshan, incredible guy. But I did learn a lot, that care, that love for animals, between him and Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers was a little past my time, but I got to tell you what an incredible shows they were. I wish there were more shows like that on the air now. Anyway, phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. The question of the day. Did I give you the question of the day? Does your dog or cat help you cope with stress or life? I'll give you some great gifts as well if you call in for that. Now, just before I get back to the phone, By the way, if you want to ask me questions on YouTube, you can. Just go to my YouTube channel. We're broadcasting live. YouTube.com/Warren Eckstein. YouTube.com/Warren Eckstein. Don't mind the bags under the eyes. It was a tough night's sleep last night. Anyway, before we get to the phones, let me do this, okay? So many of my listeners, and God bless you guys, you amaze me, whether it be here, my national show, so many of my listeners have adopted dogs from shelters, rescues, or taking them off the streets. And I guess this has kind of been my specialty over the years. Before most trainers or behaviors even existed going into places, I was spending the majority of my time going to shelters on Long Island, in the Bronx, in Queens, upstate New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, working with rescues and some of the dogs. I want to share this with you. I want you to learn to unlock rescue dogs' full potential. So listen to me carefully. When working with a dog with a troubled past, the key is to go slow, be extra patient, and most importantly, find a way to gain the dog's trust. Usually, lots of good treats go a long way toward forming a bond with them, but it can be whatever makes the dog feel safe, comfortable, and ultimately happy. You know, I've been telling more stories about some of my years training on the East Coast, and one of the things I found out very early on is a lot of people would call me up that had rescue dogs that may have come from troubled backgrounds or abusive backgrounds, and people were saying, well, there's nothing that you can be done. I remember one specific dog belonged to a man who owned a grocery store in Hempstead, Long Island. I'll get to the phones, I promise. And I was a peace officer at that time, a volunteer peace officer, and I was called in to go evaluate the dog. And I went there, and the guy said, well, I love the dog, I love the dog, I love the dog. He said, but I'm the only one that can get near the dog. And I said, where is the dog? And he takes me out into the back area, and the dog's tied up to a tree and is never exposed to any other people. So I said to myself, how am I going to get this dog? Well, first of all, the guy really didn't want the dog anymore, so I was going to take the dog. But how can I get this dog to really gain that confidence, to build up that self-esteem? Now, this is going to sound eccentric to people. You know me, I'm not eccentric or crazy. Well, maybe I am, but I want you to listen carefully. I spent 3 months, 12 weeks, 3 to 4 days a week for 2 hours, 3 hours at a time, going to the location, sitting on the ground just outside of the reach of the dog, talking to him. That's all I did was talk to him. Then I would take some clothes that I had worn and I would put them with him so he can get the scent of me. It took me over 3 months just to kind of build up this dog's confidence. Where trainers would say, well, you got to jerk the dog around and show him who's boss. No, let me tell you, once the confidence of this dog was built up, once I gained the trust of this dog, I adopted him. This dog, his name was Damien. First German Shepherd that I had when I got out of the service. I had just gotten married and lived in a studio apartment where no pets were allowed. Boy, did I get that over real quickly. And I brought him home. And he turned out to be the most incredible dog, most incredible shepherd. My sister would come over with the little babies and Damien would love them and get along with them. So it just goes to show you, people tend to give up too fast when it comes to dogs and cats. Don't give up. Take the time, be patient, they will come around. But as I said, the most important thing is to find a way to build up the confidence and gain that trust. 866-870-CAROLY. By the way, before I get to the phones, you could ask me a question on YouTube. In fact, Kathleen wrote to me, hi Warren, what is your opinion on our sweet, beautiful dog snacking on small cut-up pieces of organic carrots? Well, let me say this, Kathleen. Let me say this. My dogs believe that carrots are made out of liver. I'm a big fan of carrots as treats. Not too many carrots. They contain sugar, but the organic carrots, I buy the small ones. You can cut them up into small pieces. Tell your dog whatever you want. Fool them. Tell them it's something else. But the bottom line is a big fan of the carrot, plus the fact it helps keep the teeth clean at the same time. 866-870-KRLA. The phone number, 866-870-5752. Let's go to, oh, God. Christy, you got a great call with a macaw. I'll get to your call in a second, but right now let me go to Deb in Van Nuys. Hi, Deb. How you doing?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing super. Yeah, call. I'm taking a look at my computer.
The last caller had my question, so I'm going to ask you another one.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to know what kind of supplements you recommend for cats. I have 2 7-year-olds, a male and female.
Yeah, are they on a good diet?
I'm using Lucy Food.
Oh, they're on the best diet ever. You're fine. You're fine.
Good.
If you want to give a supplement, there are supplements on I have my Hugs and Kisses supplements for dogs and cats. However, here's the deal. We are out of the Hugs and Kisses for cats only. We have plenty of Hugs and Kisses for dogs. And the reason we're out is because I stopped the manufacturer from making them at this point. So they changed hands, so it's going to be what? But the dog Hugs and Kisses is fine. So I can't send you cats Hugs and Kisses, but I can't send you dogs Hugs and Kisses either. But in terms of supplementation is important. But with a good, healthy diet, how old is your cat?
7. I have
7 years old.
Male and female. They're 7.
Yeah, stick with the Lucy pet food, and I'll be recommending some nutritional supplements for your cat until we get the Hugs and Kisses back. I'll be recommending them in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that.
Great, thank you so much.
But no, before we do that, go ahead.
Well, the other thing is, I was listening to the other lady that you just talked to about bringing in another cat. Well, I'm thinking of bringing a kitten, so you answered my question with that. Thank you very much.
No, listen, I'm glad I did. But there's, it's kind of interesting. One of the things I'm going to be talking about, there's a company I've been speaking to. It's called acornpetproducts.com. Check out their website. They specialize in calming and recovery items. And they have these special calming discs, which I'll be giving away later on in the show. And you can put them on your cat's collar, your dog's collar. It has the essential oils that are known and proven to calm dogs and cats down. So one of the recommendations I would have, you know what? Can I send you one?
Yes, you can.
I'm going to send you one of those calming discs. It's brand new to the people there are incredible. I had long conversations with them. So we're going to send you I know this is new for you, Suzette. We're going to send an Acorn Pet Products calming disc, and I appreciate that phone call. Thank you. I'm going to put you on hold. Oh, thank you. I'm going to put you on hold. The lovely Suzette Suzette's going to pick up. Great time to give me a call. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. If you want to ask a question on YouTube, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. We got a couple of open lines here. Pretty rare on the Pet Show. I know it's hot. I know people are running around on a Saturday, but if you have a question or a comment or want to share a great story, just remember, your question may pertain to you, but it also may pertain to thousands and thousands of other people that may be listening. So great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Back on The Pet Show, I'm Warren Eckstein. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. Hugs and Kisses I got for dogs. I got copies of my best-selling books, either dog or cat. Those T-shirts that say "None of my friends walk upright." I got some herbal flea spray. I got some joint aid. I got some tear supplement, some quiet moments, lots of great stuff to give away. Plenty of time for your calls. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. The question of the day is, does your dog or cat help you cope with stresses in your life? Now, come on. I've worked with so many people that have gone through so many different things in their life. And if it wasn't for their dog or their cat, I don't think they would have made it. So that's why I wanted to ask that question today. So many people are stressed out nowadays. If you watch TV with all the political commercials, it makes me nuts, absolutely crazy. Maybe that's where your pets can come in and help you relieve anxiety. I'll tell you a quick story. One of my clients years ago was Geraldine Ferraro. I've talked about her before. She ran for vice president. Incredible lady. I had long conversations with her. She lived in Flushing, New York, and I would go to her house to work with her German Shepherd. And she would talk about the fact that when she was on the road campaigning, the stress factor was really crazy. And she would actually do some needlepoint to relieve stress. But she told me, when she got home, either be for a weekend or for a couple of days, her dog made all the difference in the world in terms of alleviating stress, calming her down, and getting her ready for the next round of going out there. So it's amazing to me what animals can do. And I've worked with so many people in different positions, politicians, the mayor of New York, so many different people whose dogs and cats have really made a difference. So that's why I asked the question. Do you think your dogs or cats calm you down? Give me a call. Let me know. I'll send you a great gift. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. If you want, you can ask a question on YouTube, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. As I said, everyone who calls into the show will get a super gift for their dog or their cat. 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. You know, I was thinking a lot this week, and I was talking to as a matter of fact, I posted this on YouTube, and the question came up is, Warren, what are the most common problems that people have with puppies, especially puppies? Is anybody out there have a puppy? Give me a call if you have a problem with your puppy. One of them was biting and chewing, teething. The other was howling, let out. The other was rowling. So let me go over a couple of these with you because I think they're important for people to understand. When a puppy is biting and chewing, specifically a puppy, in some cases older dogs, especially dogs that have been rescued, they may have not gone through their puppy stages, and therefore they're going through latent psychological chewing stages. Usually it's a combination of lack of exercise, it's a combination of boredom, and with puppies it's teething. You heard me say every week, if you have a puppy and they're doing a lot of teething, what you need to do is take some of their toys and freeze them. So by freezing their toys, what you're actually doing is you're doing the same thing you would do for an infant with a baby that was teething. The coldness will numb the gum. So by taking the puppy's toys and putting them in the freezer, it can make all the difference in the world. So remember, also the biting. I just had a call this week about my puppy's biting me, Warren. He's driving me crazy. I want you to remember that when a litter of puppies are together, it's normal for them to bite with each other. Puppies have fur. I'm assuming you don't. And for those people that don't have fur, it hurts. So we need to understand, and we need to take that, and we need to get it in the right direction. And so the next question came up is, well, my trainer said I can't start training the dog until the dog is 6 months old. Well, the same energy and the same intelligence it takes for a puppy to learn how to do something wrong can you use to teach a puppy how to do something right. So I start working with dogs as young as 8 weeks old, or cats for that matter, because I can kind of create the positive and avoid resolving the negative. It can make all the difference in the world. So some of the other questions that came up about puppies is this as well. What about howling? Most people, when they bring a puppy home, the puppy came from an area where its litter was, or came from a litter from a shelter or a rescue. Way too many puppy litters at rescues and shelters right now. It drives me crazy. But again, the bottom line with that is this. Why are the puppies howling? Well, you've taken the dog away from its family. And howling is a rallying call. So howling is either a rallying call or a stress call. In many cases, the puppy's howling because it wants its family back with him, or in other cases, it's howling because it's just stressed out. I remember working in Europe and working with some of the behaviors there, talking about the concept of howling and what was howling all about, and the concept of wolves howling to get the hunt together. And I guess our pets do the same thing. Then the other question came up. Warren, what about growling? And my response was a little different than most. I said, growling's not always a bad thing. What do you mean growling's not always a bad thing? Why are my dogs growling? That's not good. Growling is kind of like you saying to someone, you know what, call me later. Leave me alone. I'm not up to it right now. Alex, I don't want to talk to you now. All of the things. So basically growling is a dog's way often of showing that he's not feeling well, either psychologically, emotionally, or even physically. Now, does that mean you should let your dog growl and get away with it? Not necessarily. But the growl is just the dog letting you know. So don't overreact to it. Very often people will overreact to the growl and therefore creating an aggressive situation where an aggressive situation was not necessary from day one. So that was one of the other questions. And one of the other questions that came in also was, what about the exposing of the belly? Why does my puppy expose their belly? Well, anyone have an answer for that? I'd love to hear from people. Give me a call. What do you think? Why do you think your puppy exposes their belly? Why do you think your dog gives the paw? Why do you think your dog is howling or your puppy's howling? I want to hear from you guys. Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let's take a look at the belly exposure, okay? What's this belly exposure all about? I'll tell you what the belly exposure is all about. When a dog exposes their belly, that is in fact their most vulnerable part. He's saying, okay, you win, whatever you want, you're in charge, take me. That's one reason. The other reason is that the dog feels so totally confident with you, so totally comfortable with you, that he's willing to expose his belly because he knows there's no harm that's going to come to him. So it's kind of like a little bit of a neurotic reasons, but it's either fear or submission or total confidence. So it could be one of two things. But those are just some of the reasons. By the way, that'll be posted. I believe it'll be posted this Monday or Tuesday, probably Tuesday, on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. You know, a lot of the calls I've received in the last couple of weeks had to do with, Warren, what can I do? I can't exercise my dog. It's too hot outside. What can I do to exercise? Well, you know, so many people can exercise their dogs in their house. When I wrote the book Pet Aerobics, and by the way, I'm going to be doing this thing on YouTube, so if you're not following me on YouTube, get there, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, as I talk about the concept of exercising dogs or cats in an environment where you can't take them outside. There are times when many of my clients in New York City lived in apartment buildings and they didn't feel comfortable going outside with their dog. So what did I do? I had them practice with other dogs in the building, going back and forth, playing monkey in the middle in the hallway, or doing staircase sprints up and down the staircase, or puppy push-ups, or doggy sit-ups, or getting boxes in kitty calisthenics. So it's real important as a behaviorist. If your dog or cat is not getting a sufficient amount of exercise, and mental stimulation, they're going to have issues. And then we blame them for those issues. And very often the dog or cat winds up at the shelter for issues that could easily be resolved if their guardian just took the time to figure out what was going on. Take a quick break. Great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me tell you what I'm giving away on today's show. Besides the normal stuff, the Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement for your dogs, I'll be giving away copies of my best-selling books, either How to Get Your Dog or How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. I'll be giving away some incredible Lucy pet food for your dog or your cat. I'll be giving away some doggy lickies. I'll be giving away some Hip to Be Square treats, which my dogs absolutely love. I'll be giving away some hemp seed oil for joint health, some allergy aids, some herbal flea spray. I'll be giving away those air horns that everyone who takes a dog out for a walk needs one of these air horns. Well, I'm living in Arizona now. I mean, listen, I just told you this earlier that I stepped in coyote poop. I don't blame the coyotes. They got to poop somewhere. But when I take my guys out, I want to make sure that I have control over the situation, so I carry an air horn. As a matter of fact, all my neighbors now in the area have air horns. I gave them little air horns to carry with them. So, by the way, if you want one of those air horns, they are available. I think they're $8-9. I don't even know. They're available on my website, thepetshow.com, thepetshow.com. Plenty of time for calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. The phone number, 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. That is the way to get through. Let me take a quick break here, and then we'll get right back to your phone. We are back on The Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call if you have a question or comment about your dog or your cat. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. There was a question that came in. The caller did not want to go on the air. It was a bird question. We don't get many bird questions, but I do a lot of work I have over the years with birds. So let's talk about this. The caller says her brother got a macaw, one of the most incredible birds there are, got a macaw who was mentally abused and pulled out its feathers, not sure how to pick her up, and will bite when they can do it. Okay. I've had many birds that I've taken from people's homes over the years that were abused. There's a couple of things you need to know. Number one, it's a sign of stress, a psychological stress. It could be other problems as well. It's important to keep the bird misted, though. That's real important, to make sure you mist them with room temperature water a couple of times a day. The abuse really goes a long way. So what very often happens is in a situation like this where the bird is plucking and pulling its feathers out, it's based on an abusive situation. So how do you resolve this? Number one is whenever you leave the house, I would leave a radio near the bird, a low volume on a talk station. So he's hearing voices constantly in a non-threatening way. Choose a mellow station in a non-threatening way. That's important, okay? The other thing that often happens is when a bird is stressed out, or a bird does in fact have a situation where they're starting to pull their feathers, automatically the person starts yelling, "Stop it, knock it off, don't do this, don't do that," or they go to give the bird something, a treat to stop them. Birds are incredibly bright, really, really bright, a whole lot smarter than we give them credit for. And the bird will pick up on the fact that if he pulls his feathers, he's going to get attention. So sometimes by trying to resolve the issue, we're actually making the issue even worse. So that's important to remember. So what are we going to do here? Number one is the radio. Number two, spend a lot of time, if you can cover the cage at night, spend some time with the cage covered, having someone in the family just talking to the bird. It's not going to happen overnight. Make sure the bird is getting the proper nutrients, a variety of different foods, fruits and vegetables. That's important as well. Now, I don't know what the abuse was. Was the abuse yelling, screaming? Sometimes there's a bird and it's making too much noise and people will squirt it with a water bottle. All of these things are going to create major issues. So these birds live for a long time, 60, 65 years. I don't know how old this bird is, but let me tell you this. They're not always going to be perfect, but you can make this bird livable. The other thing I would recommend that your brother does, I would recommend that I don't know where you live. It didn't say where you live, but I would contact a local parrot organization. Every state, every city has a parrot organization, and they'll be able to guide you even a lot further than I can in terms of feather plucking. But generally speaking, it's stress or anxiety, or some birds actually do it just to get the attention of the people in the house. So let's give that a shot and give me a call back. I'd love to hear the birds. And thank your brother for adopting this bird. I once, tell you a funny story. I once adopted a blue and gold macaw. Really, really, really abused. And I would work, whenever I was out training, I would have this macaw with me. So the macaw learned how to bark, really bark, like a lot of different dogs. So as I said, I was living in this studio apartment in Long Beach, New York. I had a German Shepherd, the one Damien who I rescued, who I wasn't allowed to have this rescued blue and gold macaw who I wasn't allowed to have. And so what happened is I would let Damien, my German Shepherd, he would spend some time at my mom's house, didn't live too far away, and the bird would be in the apartment by himself. One day, the landlord came up, yelling and screaming with a police officer. What did I do now? Gosh, what did I do? And knocking and banging on the door. And he said, we told you you're not allowed to have dogs. You cannot have dogs in the building. Meantime, I had this dog there for a year. Wasn't there now. So I said to him, come on in. Come on in. You and the police officer, come on in. Now, I knew the police officer because I trained the dogs for their department. I said, come on in. This is my house. Come on. Watch this. And the bird started to bark. So I turned to them and I lied. And, every once in a while you got to lie a little bit in life. And I said, listen, I don't have a dog. My dog's not here. The bird was barking. When they heard the bird barking, the cop laughed so hard, so hard. Even the landlord had an expression on his face that I've never seen before. And I explained to him, listen, if you want to evict me for a barking dog that has feathers and flies, go ahead, give it a shout. Let's see what he does. From that point on, he never bothered me again about the macaw and never bothered me about the German Shepherd that he busted me walking all different times of day and night. So, and this was a bird that was really, really abused too. So this was a bird that I had to bring around. It took me a while to bring it around, but I want people to understand that I don't want to adopt a dog. I don't want to adopt a cat. They come with baggage. Nonsense. Get rid of that nonsense. Baggage, baggage, baggage. Yeah, they may come with certain issues. They may have been abused. They may have been neglected. But the bottom line is, with patience, with time, hugs, kisses, and love, they will come around. They're all going to be Rin Tin Tin, no, but they can all be made livable, healthy parts of the family. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. The question of the day is, come on, everyone's stressed out. I know people are stressed out. I deal with you guys every day. Does your dog or cat or your bird help you cope with stress and anxieties of everyday living? Going through a divorce, the loss of a significant other, having to move. Does, in fact, your dog or cat or whatever pet you have really help you cope? Help you cope with the stresses and anxieties of every day? If more people understood how important living with a pet was for their psychological, emotional, and mental well-being, the shelters would be empty tomorrow. And I think what the shelters need to do, and here I go again, getting in trouble, what the shelters need to do is actually speak to the people coming in and let them know specifically about this dog. Yeah, he may not look great here, but let me take him out with you and let's take a closer look at him. Great time to give me a call. The phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Lots of great stuff to give away. Hugs and kisses for your dogs. And I got Lucy pet food. And I got lots of great stuff. And air horns, copies of my books. Those T-shirts, by the way, none of my friends walk upright. I cannot keep those on the shelf because that money goes directly to my 501c3, Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, which, by the way, you should check out as well, hugsandskissesanimalfund.org. Quick break, and then we'll get back to helping you out, resolve any issues you may be having with your pets or any issues your pets may be having with you. Okay, so here's the deal, folks. Coming up, On October 8th and 9th, I think that's Tuesday and Wednesday, right, Alex? October 8th and 9th, it is Amazon Prime Days. Back on the Pet Show, I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. The phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. One of the things that I was talking about this week, I had some real interesting conversations this week, and then I'll get to some phone calls in the next hour, is the concept that the majority of problems, you heard me talk about, the majority of behavior issues that dogs and cats have are created by the environment or created by the people that they live with. That's why years ago, and when I was doing a lot of training, I would come into a home, I would sit down with the entire family. A lot of trainers say, I just want to work with this person, or I just want to work with that person. But when you have a family, the normal family was 2.5 kids per family, whatever it is, you want to make sure that there's consistency there. It's just like the difference if the mother said to the kid, you can't go out, and the father said, okay, go out. How is the kid going to learn what's expected and what's not expected? Well, it's no different with our dogs and no different with our cats. If one person tells the cat to jump up and the other person tells the dog to get down, or one person tells the dog to come and the dog doesn't come, and the other person says, I can't figure out why the dog doesn't come all the time. Well, it doesn't come all the time because it's not considered and made to come all the time. These are all things, all basic little errors that people make. That's why before I started training, when I was the head trainer for the YMCA, I would sit down with hundreds of people at a time in a large auditorium and explain to them, I want the entire family there for the education of your dog. I want mom and pop and the kids and grandma and grandpa and the pets, whoever was involved with the dog, I wanted them involved with the training because the continuity is so critical. If everyone's doing it the same way, you can have a great dog or a great cat. But if you confuse the dog by having one person say this and one person say that, then it throws everything off entirely. And I get this all the time. How many times have you gone in the backyard and said to your dog, hey, come, and then the phone rings or something's coming up on TV and you walk away and he stays out there? Well, the dog says, why do I come? Why do I have to come? Sometimes they tell me to come. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. So continuity is really critical in terms of educating your pets. We take a break for the top of the hour. When we come back, I'll get to your calls. Plenty of time for them. Lots of great stuff to give away. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Show. Love your dogs and you love your cats, and you want to find out why they behave the way they do, why they're jumping, why they're humping, why they're digging, why your cat is scratching, looks at the litter box, says you pee there yourself. If you have an issue or a question or just want to brag about your dog or cat, great time to give me a call. Excuse me, I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show, America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, pet lifestyle show. So if you have a question or comment about your dog or cat's behavior, just want to brag about a dog or cat you rescued or a dog or cat you're living with now, if you want to tell me how your dog or cat makes you feel better about yourself and better about life, great time to give me a call. If you're new to the show, just a reminder that everyone that does call and get to talk to me live on the air will get a fabulous gift. Don't get excited. You know it's not for you. It's for your dog or cat. Not like I'm giving away milk bones here, guys. Many of the items I give away are 25, 35, 40, or $50. So if you have a question, if you have a comment, just want to brag about your dog or cat, or tell me about a dog or cat that maybe helped you as you were growing older, or helped you when you were a kid, or great time to call me. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Got some open lines. Pretty unusual here on the Pet Show. So if you have a question or comment, great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. As I said, lots of great stuff to give away on this show. And people often say, Warren, why do you give so much stuff away on your show? And there's a reason for it. Basically, I got great sponsors, but even more importantly than that, very often the items I give away are totally related to the question you're asking. For example, you have a dog or excessively shedding with dry skin, bare spots. I'm going to recommend Hugs and Kisses. If you have a dog or a cat that you want to make sure you're giving them the healthiest food available, well, I'm going to recommend Lucy Pet Food. So I got Hugs and Kisses to give away, Lucy Pet Food, copies of my best-selling books, either How to Get Your Dog or How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. Have all natural herbal flea spray, Amazing product. And listen, I'm telling you, with the heat right now and the rain we had, this flea season is going to be, I don't want to use spectacular, but it's going to be spectacular. I got those T-shirts to give away that say none of my friends walk upright. Lots of great stuff to give away. And a new item I'm going to be giving away from a new company that I recently spoke to and have great conversation with them, really good people. It's called Acorn Pet Products, and you want to go to their website, acornpetproducts.com. One of the reasons I spoke with them is simply they're a little bit different. It's a calming and recovery. That's what their products focus on. They have a recovery vest that keeps your dog calm, and recovery collars, you know, those collars that dogs hate to wear. They won't hate to wear these collars. They're comfortable. They have paw balm and calming disc, which you heard me give away an hour ago. I'm telling you, check out acornpetproducts.com. They have products that you're not going to find at a lot of places. You may find them at some places, but I'm telling you, this is another one of those companies that walks the walk. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Before we get started, I am so sick and tired of cats being abused. Tired of it. I've had it. Listen to me. Punishing your cat for bad behavior, such as scratching or peeing outside the litter box, I'm telling you, I said this last hour, does more harm than good. The thousands of cats I've helped from shelters, the people have adopted, taken feral cats off the street, and then someone recommends, well, squirt water in their face or yell at them or shake a can at them or push them away and nonsense. And then you wonder why your cat's not comfortable with people. What you need to do is understand that you can damage your relationship with your cat and cause your cat to become fearful, even aggressive. What you need to do is use positive reinforcement. Now, I know it's a big word. What do I do with positive reinforcement? Take the behavior your cat has and redirect it. Redirect it in a different way. You hear me talk about boxes and treats, and all that stuff can make a difference. A lot of people get a cat, they put down a few toys, get a scratching post or two. Maybe they'll plant some catnip, and that's the end of it. You need to make your environment nomadic. You need to make it constantly changing for your cat. And I got to tell you, I spoke to some people on the East Coast this week, and I'm sure it's the same here on the West Coast. I know it is in Arizona. The shelters are full of dogs and cats that people gave up for many different reasons, but the majority were behavior reasons. I don't know how you can give up your dog when there are so many people out there that can help you resolve the issues. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys. You have a question or comment about your dog or cat's behavior. They're jumping, they're humping, they're stealing. Just want to brag about a dog or cat, or, come on, guys, answer this question. You got to be with me on this one. I mean, I put my heart into this question. This was a stressful week for me. It was I don't know, I'm not going to go into why it was a stressful week, but it was a stressful week. And if it wasn't for Molly or Willie, I'd be pulling my hair out. It's a good thing I don't drink. Anyway, the bottom line is, does your dog or cat help you cope with stresses of life? A divorce, the loss of a best friend, the loss of a job. I know with all the upheavals in my life and all the changes in my life that I never would have survived it without my animals. They make all the difference in the world. So am I the only one that thinks that way? Am I the only one that thinks that life is not worth living without our dogs and cats? Give me a call. I want to hear from you guys. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Also, coming up, I'm going to share the 5 most common mistakes that pet parents make that can actually reduce your dog's lifespan. Wow, we'll talk about that. Plenty of time for your calls. And again, if you want to ask me a question on YouTube, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. And if you're not on my YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? It's free. It's free. I share a lot of great information here. Check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. All right, let me do this. Let me take a couple of phone calls here. Let's go to, we got humping dogs. We got pets crossing the street. We got dogs licking too much. Let's go to Tino, I believe it is. Hey, Tino, welcome to the Pet Show. Is it Tino or Dino?
Tino.
Hi, Tino. Tito, T-I-T-O?
T-I-N-O.
Oh, T-I-N-O. Not like the vodka, T-I-N-O. What can I do for you, Tino?
So my dog, he's a red heeler and super, super affectionate dog. But he tends to lick a lot. I mean, it's
Specifically,
not just me, but everybody that he crossed paths with.
okay, how long have you had the dog, Tino?
Since he was a puppy, probably about 3 years now.
Okay, and when he was a puppy, did he come from a big litter? And how old was he?
He was probably, they said it was probably about 3 months old. 11 weeks is what I remember.
Okay.
There was a litter of 4.
Okay, and in other words, he's been doing this constant licking from day one.
Yes.
Okay, there are several reasons a dog will lick. Number one, what they try to do is they associate the licking. The first thing a mother does when it gives birth to a litter of puppies is to clean them off by licking them. So the first response they get is a very positive response to licking. Then what happens is when the puppies are together to bond with each other, they chew on each other and they lick on each other. So excessive licking, if you said to me the dog was licking itself constantly, that's a whole different ballgame. Then there might be something else involved. Could be allergies, could be major behavioral reasons. But it sounds to me like your dog is trying to establish relationship by licking. So what have you been doing when he's licking excessively at this point?
Well, I would just pet him and just, nudge him a little bit.
So if he's licking, Tino, if he's licking, and then you say, good boy, then you're just reinforcing the fact that he should lick more, right? Doesn't that make sense? But on the other hand...
I don't tell him good boy. I'll just rub him a little bit. I just nudge him.
Well, that's all it takes. That's still positive. That's still a positive reaction to him licking. So what's the other alternative? No. You can't yell at him. You can't say, no, bad dog fooey, what did you do? Because he's licking because he loves you and wants to be with you. And wants it the best. So what do? I don't know. Wear a wetsuit. No.
That's the question.
What you need to understand, number one, is this. You need to use a little distraction therapy, okay? If the dog is licking too much, some trainers recommend when the dog is licking, what you need to do is you need to give him something of his own to replace the licking. Well, if you do that, what you're doing is, let's say he's licking on you, and then you give him a toy to replace the licking. You just tell him anytime he wants a toy, lick some more, I'm going to give you a toy. So what I would recommend doing at this time, have you done any training with your dog at all, really?
No, wrong with professional. We train him. Yeah, he's really smart. He does a lot.
Okay, so what it would usually licking can be lacking a certain amount of confidence at a specific time. So what I want you to do, and plus the fact I'm sure you pay attention to him when he's licking, so he's doing it to get that attention as well. Here's what I'm going to recommend that you do. When he seems to be licking excessively, what I'd like you to do is spend 3, 4, 5 minutes, put his leash and his harness on, and just practice him sit, stay down right then and there, and then take him off. I want him to have a positive association, not negative with the licking, but I want you to establish the relationship that you have with him. And I think that's where the excessive licking will come in. Now, let me ask you another question. His teeth and gum in good shapes?
Was that, his teeth and gums?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because sometimes excessive licking can be based on that as well. Now, around other people, is he a confident dog, really confident around people?
Very, very confident, very affectionate. Nothing different from me.
Okay, so that's his way of bonding with people. So what I would do, rather than try to correct him in any way, if you know that he's going to be licking when people come over, I would find 1 or 2 items that the dog absolutely adores. But the only time he gets those items is when you're having people come over. So it's not like you're correcting him for licking, but not like you're praising him for licking, because you're giving him the toys beforehand. So now he associates those toys when people come over, and he looks forward to that versus the licking. It's kind of distraction therapy. That's where we should be at this point.
Oh, that's okay. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, it's going to work.
He tends to jump up at people too.
Well, that's where the training comes into play. If the dog is trained, when people come over and he's jumping up on them and Tino's going, stop it, knocking off, you're making me crazy, that's reinforcing it. What you do at that point is that's where the basic training comes into play. If you know he jumps on people when they come in, then you practice to sit and stay at that point. I'm having a little trouble here too. Let me do this, Tino. You got a couple of issues with the dog. Licking, we got resolved. Jumping, will get resolved. I want to do this. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you a copy of how to get your dog to do what you want. And I want you to, great thing. By the way, you can go to the website. There's some great articles on jumping as well. Here's the scenario. Great call. Pamela, I'm going to get to you. Craig, I'm going to get to you. But here's the scenario. So many people look to resolve an issue, whether it be excessive licking, jumping, excessive barking, whatever the issue may be. So many people, including professionals, I hear veterinarians do this all the time. Well, this is what you have to do to stop it. This is what you have to do to stop it. Without taking the time to figure out why. Why is the dog licking excessively? Why is the dog jumping? Is it insecure or is it too much confidence? That's what we need to do. Great time. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Pamela, you'll be next. Craig, you'll be right on top of her. I got a couple of open lines, 866-870-5752. Are you people afraid to answer the question of the day? Are you afraid to admit that your dogs or cats can help you cope with anxiety, stress, and depression? Give me a call. Let me know how you feel. I deal with people with PTSD all the time. Unfortunately, their dogs and cats, they never make it through the day. How about you? Does your dog or cat help you make it through the day, especially now with all the insanity that's going on? Give me a call. Got some great stuff to give away. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. You know, we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. If you have questions or comments, your dog is jumping or humping, your cat, see, I've got a humping call coming in. Your cat is scratching. You want to introduce a new cat to the household. If you've got a question or comment about your pet, great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. That is the way to get through. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff. One of my neighbors recently purchased a puppy. I wish they would have adopted, but they purchased a Labrador puppy, a cute dog anyway. And it's interesting because I don't know these people. They live diagonally across from me, so I'm new to the area, so I haven't really met them yet. And basically, I'm kind of shy. I'm kind of feral myself. So anyway, the reason I bring it up is because the other day they're out there, and every single morning they're out there, and with this puppy, it's a little yellow lab, and I hear them going, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, let's go, let's go, let's go, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And I want to go over there, and I want to tell him, don't rush the dog. He'll go when he has to go. Give him a little exercise. He'll go, I promise. But they're telling him, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I don't know why people do that. Why don't you let your dogs go when they have to go? I'd like someone to stand over you and say, you go, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I have a joke. I love to be behind one of these guys at a urinal and say, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Got an open line or two. Got hugs and kisses to give away. I got some books to give away. Got some herbal flea spray to give away. So let me right now go to a phone call, and let's go to Pamela in Malibu, in the Boo. Hey, Pamela in the Boo. How you doing?
Hi. Everything's fine. It's very hot here today.
Oh, knock it off, Pamela. It's 109 where I am. I don't want to hear how hot it is by you.
Okay, yeah, it's probably only 80.
80? Are you kidding? I better you better get my down jacket out. 80 degrees. Come on, that's cold to me now.
Anyways, so we have a dog park here in Malibu where I take my Shiba Inu.
Little Japanese dog, yeah.
Yeah, just to mention, my daughter, God bless her, she's a veterinarian now for 10 years. She works in Hollywood. And at the end of the conversation, I just want to do a shout-out about everyone getting a certain vaccination that she recommends. But meanwhile, when I take my dog to the dog park, he only has a good time smelling and humping. And I just don't understand. I feel like it's a real myth that when you get a dog neuter or spayed, it doesn't stop them from wanting to hump. And that's for male or female dogs. So I just don't understand, why they continue. My Shiba Inu now is almost 10, and he still continues to hump, and he was neutered, back when he was 2 months old.
Okay, a couple of things. First of all, you're assuming that humping is sexual behavior. Not necessarily the case. Not necessarily the case at all, especially at a dog park, okay? When you have so many dogs at a dog park, humping and sniffing is more... See, your dog sniffing other dogs, especially in like the butt area, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, right?
Oh, no, they sniff. He sniffs in like either the vaginal or the.
We got it. Listen, I'm on the air. We got it. Listen, but let me tell you the reasoning behind that, okay? When your dog is sniffing, specifically those areas, it's like your dog is online. It's like your dog is surfing the web. It's like your dog is on Google. Why do I say that? Dogs' nose, their nose is their strongest sense. And with us, it's our eyes. With dogs, it's their nose. So they pick up so much information. Is it a male or female? Is it what personality? A lot of information comes from the sense that your dog is picking up from other dogs. So that's where the smelling comes in play. Now, followed by the humping. We assume that your dog is humping the other dog because he feels that dog or thinks that dog is sexually attractive. Not the case. Or if you have a male dog mounting another male dog, or a female dog mounting another female dog, does that mean your dog has some sexual preference different than other dogs? No. What it simply means is that your dog is feeling a little insecure, and in order to show dominance, the dog is going to mount or hump the other dog. That's why I joke often when people call me up and say, Warren, every time I have my dog, he humps my leg. And I tell them, don't feel flattered. Your leg isn't that attractive. He's not humping your leg because you're beautiful. He's humping your leg because he wants to be in control of you. So what do? How do you stop the dog from humping? Cold showers and Play Dog magazine are not the approach. What I would recommend doing is when the dog is humping, establish some more positive authority with the dog and just put him on his leash and collar and work it out that way and give him a lot of exercise before he goes. It's got to be quite a scene at the humping dog at the Malibu Park. I got to tell you, I'm laughing about it, Pamela. It's got to be and they're all beautiful dogs, right? They're all perfectly trained. They all look perfect. They all have blonde hair. And they're all driving Teslas. I'm assuming. I'm just an assumption on my part. It's interesting though that a lot of people assume that humping is sexual behavior, and it's not. I literally had a man call me on my national show not that long ago and say, Warren,
Wow.
is my dog gay? What if he is? What if he is?
Yeah.
Who cares? Is my dog gay? I feel like, anyway, the bottom line is it's more, can it be a sign of sexual? Yeah. If you have a female dog in season and a male dog that's not neutered, or even a male dog that's neutered, he may be attempting. Remember Jimmy Carter? He said, I had lust in my heart. That's the same approach here. So again, nothing to be overly concerned about. However, it's something you have to deal with because sometimes he may just go to hump the wrong dog and a dog fight may break out. So increased exercise, number one, that's important. And when he starts to hump, get your leash and collar, some basic control at that point. Also, try giving him a toy or two that he only gets at the dog park. That should make all the difference in the world for you.
Okay.
Do you feel, Pamela, do you feel better now? Do you feel better about your dog now?
Yeah, I understand them. The only thing I get uncomfortable is when there's children there, because the children don't think what you just said. They think that dog is sexually attractive, and they use their imagination.
If they're old enough to figure out that possibly that dog is sexually attracted and sexually active with that other dog, then they're old enough to be spoken to and explained that it's a sign of dominant behavior. That's what it's all about. I don't want to hold on. I want to go deep into the psychology, but even young boys sometimes when they're playing with each other and they're wrestling, again, that holding on is a sign of dominant behavior. Anyway, great call, by the way. Say hello to everyone in Malibu. I'm trying to think, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send you, Pamela and the humping dog, I am going to send you a jar of my own Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement treats for your dog, and I appreciate that phone call. Craig, we're going to get to you. I do have some open lines if you want to give me a call right now. Pretty rare. I guess the heat is keeping everyone inside. The phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Humping dogs, one of the most common questions, I guess. Let me take a break, Craig. When we come back, I want to talk to you. We'll get to your call. You have a couple of open lines. Got lots of stuff to give away. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Plenty of time for your calls. Still got lots of great stuff to give away. But right now, I'm asking for your help. Listen, you're back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Phone number 866-870-KRLA. The last caller, Pamela, I think she's still on the line, but Pamela, I'll do this. You don't have to come back on with me. She said her daughter's a veterinarian in Hollywood and recommended the leptospirosis shot for all dogs going to dog parks, as I do. It's transmitted to a dog or cat or human after they've been in contact with infected animals' urine and enters their body. Anyway, the bottom line is if you take your dog to a dog park, should be up to date on all his vaccinations, including leptospirosis. And I'm a big fan of making sure our pets are vaccinated. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. Got a couple of open lines. I'm getting right back to the phones. The phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let's go to Craig in Santa Ana. Hi, Craig. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for taking the call. Can you recommend some kind of electronic sensor or shock collars, small pets, small dogs and cats that keep them from running across the street? We've lost a lot over the years, run over, and especially Halloween time, black cats don't last at all. People are superstitious, and they're in the Halloween sign like they're evil spirits or something, and they don't last long at all. But other cats, there's wildlife at night, people in the neighborhood, or people running over, natural wildlife, been here thousands of years before people, and I can't help them. But the pets can't keep them in all the time. They love to go out and play, but they'll see a squirrel or something, another animal or cat, and run across, and lost a lot of them. And for those, a lot of people try to stop, but sometimes they can't. And
Craig, it's an interesting question. Okay, I don't believe in electronic collars. I don't believe in shock collars. Let me tell you what I believe in. I believe, and I know you said that you can't keep them all the time. I believe that the best way to keep your dog safe is a door or a gate. That's the best way to keep your dog or your cat safe. In terms of cats, for years, and I'm a big, especially around, you're absolutely right, around October, if you have a cat, keep them inside, a black cat, keep them inside. They should be inside anyway. Now, I know what people are thinking. Warren, how can you say that? I mean, cats, they should be able to go outside. You're absolutely right, but they should be able to go outside in a safe way, just like a child, on a leash, on a harness, in an enclosed area. You know, I cannot, as good as I may think I am or want to be, I cannot tell your cat, listen, don't chase that squirrel across the street. Or I cannot tell your dog, don't chase that. Now, personally, over the years, a lot of my own dogs were trained not to go into the street. Okay? That would mean that 85 to 90% of the time they'd run to the curb and they would stop there. But I love my dogs too much to chance that 10 or 15% that there's a squirrel or something across the street and they're not going to react. So I know, my heart breaks for people that lose their pets. It really does. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember one of my friend's dogs was hit by a car. I might have been 10 years old, and it stayed with me for life. So I think people, once you take on the responsibility of a dog or a cat, it's no different than taking on the responsibility of any living thing. It's our responsibility to make sure they're as safe and as happy. Now, can we be 100% sure? Absolutely not. But years ago, I would have taken a different approach. But now you can go to Amazon, you can go to any of these places, and you can find cat enclosures that you can put in your yard. You can put a cat enclosure actually in a window. So you can make the cat feel comfortable outside without worrying about the cars and other predators that are out there. Also, what you can do is you can make your home a lot more interesting. You hear me talk about cardboard boxes, paper bags, and changing all the time. If you understand, and one of the reasons cats like to go outside is because they're nomadic by nature, they like a lot of changes. You can make those changes within your environment, very simply. It doesn't cost you much. So again, I know what you're saying, and Craig, my heart goes out to you. But again, there's nothing in the world that I can do. I mean, electronic collars, what are you going to do? Shock? If you shock the dog, he's in the middle of the street, he's more apt to get hit by a car at that point. If you want to take the time, go back to my military, if you want to take the time and do perimeter training with your dog, which is one of my specialties, that's a whole different ballgame. But as well trained as the majority of my dogs have been, they're never off leash outside of my house unless I am in an enclosed area or with them. Hope that helps you out a bit there, Craig.
More cats than dogs, you know.
Yeah.
They're harder to manage, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's because people just...
One or two one or two good shots, and they wouldn't do it anymore and save their lives. Like some kind of shot.
One or two good shots is not going to save their lives. It's not going to make them stop it. They're just going to find some other where to go. And how's that going to stop the animal across the street from chasing down your cat? How's that going to stop the coyote? How's that going to stop the stray dog? How's that going to stop the neighbor's cat? It's only electronic. I mean, I guess the military now uses electronic collars for training for dogs, but it's a different type. The collars they use are a little bit different than the collars you can buy over the counter. So I'm not into electronic collars at all. I'm old school. Anyway, that's what I recommend. Anyway, I'm going to do this, Craig. I'm going to put Craig on hold. We're going to send Craig a copy of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. Great call, by the way. Do have some open lines if you have a question or a comment about your dog or cat's behavior. Great time to give me a call. The phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Anybody out there notice any changes in their dog or their cat's behavior since they've gotten a little bit older? We're going to talk about that when we come back. Anyone notice that in their dog or cat? The phone number here, 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. The question of the day is, does your dog or cat help you cope with stresses of life? I do a lot of work with different organizations that represent and work with people suffering with PTSD, whether it be military, firemen, police officers, or just everyday PTSD. It's not easy nowadays. And so with that being said, the effect that dogs and cats have on the anxiety, on the stresses, on the emotions, on the depression is unbelievable. I was the head trainer for years for Assistance Dogs International. And I would work with dogs with people, and my job wasn't training the dogs at that point. It was training people from around the world to train the type of dogs for pet-facilitated therapy. And that's why I'm such a believer in how much better our dogs and cats can make us feel. I mean, I could sit here for a week and tell you stories about a dog I trained for a double amputee in Catholic Charities and how the dog changed his entire life. Made all the difference in the world. And he went from being stressed and anxious and depressed and a bit assertive to a kind, almost Mr. Rogers type. So they really do. But that's what I want to ask you guys. I'd love to get some response from you. Does your dog or cat help you cope with stresses of life? If you come home and your boss was a jerk, or someone else in your office, or you got a speeding ticket or a parking ticket, and you're upset and you're stressed out, does your dog make you feel better or your cat make you feel better? Give me a call. I got some great gifts waiting. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Craig is getting a copy of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. Let me take a quick break here. When we come back, Murza will get to your call. 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. When we come back, we're going to get to Murza. But a lot of my listeners have dogs that may be getting a little bit older. And I want to talk to you about those dogs that are getting a bit older and what you can do to make them have the greatest life they possibly can. 866-870-5752. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to Dog, by the way. I make that up. Hey, we're back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Murza and Pam, we're going to get to your calls. But I got a response from one of my listeners and viewers on my YouTube channel. By the way, I don't know why. You should be on YouTube, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. But Valerie G writes, in answer to your question of the day, my dog absolutely knows when I'm anxious or upset. He will jump on my lap, look straight at me until I give him a hug or a good back scratching. They do. Cats have a sixth sense. Dogs have a sixth sense. I told you when I was studying in Europe and I was in Germany and I talked about animals having a sixth sense, they tried to put me away, but they do. They know the secrets of the world that are inhibited in most people, but not in our pets. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let's go to Pasadena first, then we're going to go to Bellflower. Right now it's Murza, I believe. Hey, Murza, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren.
How you doing, Murza?
It's like trying to get hold of the president, but it's been a while since.
Especially nowadays, trying to get hold of the president.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I've been calling because we have this cat that we've had for about 20 years, I believe. We inherited from my son, So recently, it started to pee around on the throw rugs and several areas of the floor. And we don't know exactly what to do. We tried to scold him and show him what he's doing wrong. And then for a week or so, he'll go to the box, but then again he'll come back and do it all over again.
Oh, Murza, listen to me. You're making every mistake in the book. First of all, did you say the cat was 20 years old?
Yeah, I think so, at least. Yeah.
I hope he pees on your rugs for another 10 years. That's all I got to say. Anyway, listen to what you need to do. It's a 20-year-old cat, okay? A 20-year-old cat sometimes becomes incontinent physically, but sometimes becomes incontinent mentally. They don't remember where they went. What I would be doing at this point is make sure you clean up all the areas where the cat has gone thoroughly with a stain and odor remover with enzymes made specifically to clean up. That's number one. Number two, a 20-year-old cat, I would have at least 3 litter boxes down for now. At least 3 litter boxes. And I would just praise every day that you have him. It sounds to me like he's going through a little bit of kitty dementia. He's that old. I'm sure he's been to the vet, and I'm sure there's nothing wrong with him. Well, there may be something wrong with him, but if he's eating and he's peeing okay, the only other thing I might try is after you put down a couple of more litter boxes and you've cleaned up the areas where the cat is gone, put some of his food, just a little couple of pieces of his kibble in those areas. If he sees his food there, he's less apt to go there. But I got to be honest with you, Mr. A 20-year-old cat, I would follow him around with a mop and just clean up after him. God bless whatever you're doing, you've done right for 20 years. So I want you to put down some more litter boxes. The other thing is they might be developing some arthritis. So when you get a new litter box, you might want to cut it down so it's a little bit lower. That's number one. Also, remember that the cat's sense of smell is not as good as it was when he was younger. So he's not really associating the litter box all the time and doesn't remember to go back. That's why I want more litter boxes out there. Give it a shot. I hope you give me a call back in a year. Say he's still peeing all over the house, but that's pretty much the way to resolve it at this point.
Yeah. May I ask a quick other question? Is that
go ahead.
regarding
Go ahead.
The soft food that we give him? Sometimes the only food that they will take is, and I don't mean to post up another brand, is Fancy Feast. And is there anything else you would recommend?
Yeah, why don't you try some of the Lucy cat food, but try the liquid. I mean, what am I thinking of? The canned food. Try the Lucy can. You know what? Let's do it. Yeah, I'm gonna put you on hold. And Suzette, can you write down when we send the list to when you send it to me? Write down when I want him to get some wet food from Lucy Pet Food for his cat. Okay, Lucy Pet Food makes both wet and dry food for cats and dogs, so we'll get some wet food, and I appreciate that. Great call, by the way. And I'm going to try to get to you, Pam, but also I want people to understand. I wasn't trying to avoid resolving, but not every problem can be resolved. Sometimes when you have a cat that's 20 years old or a parent that's 85, 90 years old, sometimes you have to deal with some of the issues they have. For example, in one study, 30 to 40% of dogs 11 to 12 years old and nearly 70% of dogs 15 to 16 years old had signs consistent with cognitive or dysfunction syndrome, CDS, increasing with age. 20-year-old cat, you're going to have issues with that. So what you can do is, as I said, more litter boxes. Make the litter boxes more convenient for the cat. Put the sides a little bit lower for the cat. That's what you need to do at this point. Give him a hug and a kiss for every day that you hear his meow. Great call, by the way. I can tell how much you love him, and I know the frustration when you have a cat that used a litter box for 18, 19 years all of a sudden. But remember, we all get older, and with age comes some changes. Phone number 866-870-KRLA. A quick break, then right back to you, Pam. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. When I get off the air here, I do my national, international show for Radio America, Armed Forces Radio. Goes all over the country, all over Canada, all over the world pretty much. Write this number down. If you're out there driving around and I didn't get to your call, write this number down. I'll take your call there. You can start calling at 1 o'clock. It goes to Washington, D.C., so start calling at 1 o'clock. This is a toll-free number for the national show, and that phone number is 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. Let me see if we can squeeze in Pam here. Hey, Pam, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Thank you.
If I may run out of time, but let's see what we can do. Tell me about your dog.
My dog we got him at between 3 and 4 years old. He was not fixed. We had him fixed, and he continues to spray. We've had him about 2 years.
Okay, where is he spraying in the house?
If we put a box down or something that's, sort of like new, he sprays that. Or he sprays against, like, the leather ottoman, and he's spraying at my mother-in-law's house now.
I wish you would spray at my mother-in-law's house. Anyway, listen, what I want you to do, this is really important, okay? I want you to make sure you thoroughly find out every spot where he went. How do you do that? Get a black light from a pet store, or you can get it from a lighting store. At night, put the black light on. It'll show you all the areas where the dog is gone. Then you want to pick yourself up a good enzymatic stain and odor remover made specifically for pets. Once you've gotten rid of that odor, what I want you to do is spend more time with the dogs where they had the accident. That's number one. Number two, I want you to start putting down some of their treats and their food in that area. He doesn't pee near his food dish, does he?
No.
Okay, so we put a couple of his treats, maybe a little bit of his kibble or some of his toys. The more time you spend with the dog in a specific area, the less apt they're going to want to go in that area. It's generally the areas where the family doesn't spend a whole lot of time. So number one, you want to clean up. Number two is what we can do. We can go a little bit further if we want to. For example, let's say we put the food down in the areas and we're still not getting the results we want to get. Next step, take him to a different location in the room where you found that he peed. Put him on his leash and harness, obviously, tie him up with enough room to stand up and lie down. Then what I want you to do is dab up his urine in a paper towel, put it in front of him just out of his reach, leave him there for 10 to 15 minutes, come back every couple of minutes, just say no. At the end of the 15 or 10 minutes, untie him, forget about it, no grudges held. We just told him it doesn't make any difference where you go, it doesn't make any difference when you go, but anytime you go, you're going to have to stay with your own mess. That will resolve the issue, I promise, in no time at all. I got to move on. So let me do this, Pam. Give that a shot. Let me put you on hold. I want to send you a copy of how to get your dog to do what you want. In the meantime, if you want to go to the website, thepetshow.com, there's more info there. Or if you want to call me back on my national show, I'll go a little bit further with you. That phone number is 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. We are just about out of time. I want you to check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, or thepetshow.com. Lots of great info there. Also, I want you to remember, when it's hot outside, make sure your dogs and your cats have access to plenty of water. Make sure you don't walk them on the hot stones or the hot pavement. Go outside for a few minutes first. See how it feels for you. If it's too hot for you, chances are it's too hot for your pet. Till next week, give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you. One between the ears for me. I'm Warren Eckstein, and thank you once again for listening to The Pet Show.